Hey buddy, what's up? It's Monday. So I've recently been doing some thinking about a meme that I actually tagged you in about it was referencing parents always say they want a better life for their kids, but then they like get mad when you actually enjoy your better life that they provide it. And it reminds me of a movie that I watched called Lions of Lambs years and years ago, and it was actually a political movie. But there was a scene where the kid was going on a rant about how his parents always preach to him how they want a better life for him, but then they resent him if he has nerve to enjoy it. That's not anything new. I mean, like I had that back when I was a kid too. My dad's generation, not my dad, but like his aunts, uncles, brothers, sisters, stuff like that. They would routinely say like how easy kids have it nowadays and everything like that. And I never really understood why. And I actually like start making a joke about like, oh yeah, life was so hard for you back then. And I've said it to you. I've said it to you a bunch of times about like how much different my childhood was is from yours. So I was thinking about why do adults do that? Like why do I say it to you? Why was it said to me? And why are you likely to say it to your kids? And I was thinking I think with you the reason I say it is because I feel like oftentimes it's hard to appreciate things when they're good if you don't know when they're bad. It's like people who complain about the country. It's like, yeah, the country has its problems, but live literally anywhere else for a little bit, and you kind of change your perspective on what you think about the United States because despite all of its problems, it's got everything together is better than most other countries. Or if you like look at like Greece was a good example because I lived there for a year. People were like, "Oh, Greece is so beautiful." It's like, no, Greece is beautiful in the tourist areas, the very few areas. And like they still have a bunch of homes there that don't have running water. And I don't mean like don't have running water like Flint, Michigan, where they have running water, but it's like currently poisoned and everybody has to use filtered bottled water. I mean like they still have an outhouse with a hole in around to use the bathroom, and it's a different way of living. I'm not saying it's anything bad about it, but I think it's funny when people complain about things and then they don't really realize how good they have it themselves. So fast forward to like me and you and like how I make comments to you. It's not so much saying that you're ungrateful or anything like that, and it's not so much I'm worried that you're not being responsible or something like that. Like a lot of adults are like, oh well, he has to learn because the real world's like that. It's like, yeah, you're gonna have plenty of time to learn what the real world is like. For the most part, there are certain life skills that um, you know you and I still have to go through together to make sure you're prepared for certain things, but that's not really it. I think it's mainly a defense mechanism that adults use to defend against bad things. Like the thing is that I think adults want to provide a lot of good things for kids. They want kids to not worry about stuff, or at least on a fundamental level they do. So when they shoot back at you after you complain, it's not so much that your complaint is invalid. It's that they feel like they work really hard and you shouldn't be complaining about anything. But in reality, that's not really fair because people can complain about things. And in a lot of cases, they should complain about things. I mean, like, look at just the social stuff that's going on in the United States right now. I mean, like, as bad as racism is right now, or systemic, institutionalized, whatever you want to call it, or however you want to define it, as bad as that stuff is right now, it's still, and I think we can all agree, miles ahead of where it was 50 years ago, which was miles ahead of where it was 50 years before. It's not to say the problems currently are invalid. It's just to say that understand that improvements have been made. We still have a lot of improvement to go, but improvements have been made, and we're probably on the right track. I mean, on that subject, at least everybody agrees racism is bad. I mean, now back then, if you're called a racist, it was almost a compliment in certain circles. Now it's like if you're a racist, at least it's universally bad. I mean, people might be racist or at least have some sort of bias, but at least open bias is kept very under wraps, which shows that society as a whole has made it so it's not cool for you to be like that. So that's good. By the way, buddy, I don't mean to undermine you when you complain about something because your complaints are definitely valid, and sometimes they have good points, sometimes they don't. Just like most complaints, just like when I complain. Sometimes I have good points, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I just want to complain. Um, but adults need to realize that, kids have the right to complain, just like kids need to realize, like, okay, this thing I'm complaining about, is it really all that bad? And if it's not, just try to be able to identify that. If you, it's not the end of the world if you can't. But chances are you not appreciating how good of a life you have now, whether or not that's true or not, which in your case I don't think it is true. I think you very much appreciate everything you have. But it's not I don't think it's going to affect you long term. I think, dude, I think you're going to grow up and be perfectly able to cope with the real world without parents putting unnecessary hardships on their kids. Well, anyway, thank you for watching. I don't know if you saw it, but my last YouTube video I put up there got like 300 views in a day, which is cool, but it was also about Dogecoin. So I'm not exactly proud of that because Dogecoin's not a good investment. So I had to make another video about how, that's not a good investment, how people shouldn't put their money in there. So I'm pretty sure it's going to undo a lot of the new subscribers I just got on my other channel. But anyway, bye. I love you. I miss you. I'm proud of you. And stay awesome.